Well, very good afternoon, dear students. And today's based on your attendance, you will be given marks, okay, and the report card also will be sent accordingly, because today I am very serious, and I am taking your attendance, and accordingly you will be given the feedback. So let me check how many students are today online. Sandhya Mulchandani, you just take one screenshot, and send me, and accordingly might be after 2 days the result will be published, so that accordingly the students will give feedback, okay. So I can't make it zoom, so you just I'll be reading out and you listen to me, okay, because the text, here there is no system of copying it, okay. So I'll be reading out, you have the textbook also at home. So the louse and the mosquito, because the extract writing will come, so you need to understand it very well, so that you will be able to understand it, okay. So let us start. The louse and the mosquito, already I have given you the brief summary of the poem, and I hope that the day before night, you might have gone through it, because I know that how many serious students are attending my class, and how many students might have read it, okay. So everything is fine, the sound system, everything, you check it out. And Sandhya, up to 5 minutes I am just waiting, and till that time you just check out and take the screenshot, how many students have joined it. Now you see the first line: in the king's bed creep the louse, lived in her ancestral house. They had dwelt here at right, for 3 decades, and each night she and her enormous brood drank the king's blood for their food. So what has happened actually in the king's bed? Who is asking buffering? I don't think it is buffering, it is going on very well, okay. No buffering is there, nothing is there, Now everything is fine right now. Just you check it out. In the king's bed, creep the louse, lived in her ancestral house. So once upon a time, what happened actually in the king's bed, it means in the king's palace, creep the louse, lived in her ancestral house, okay. Since generation, we can talk 3-4 generation, since so many days they had dwelt here as of right, for 3 decades, the king's palace itself, it was the dwelling place for the louse and other members, Did you understand? The louse and the whole team members, they were living together happily. And you see that, whenever people, they stay in rent actually, after so many years, they can claim also that, because that is their right, you can't drive them out of the house, If you are hiring people in rent also, after several years, if they stay there, then you cannot drive them easily. Similarly, in the king's palace, since so many decades, so many years, it has been written, for 3 decades. 3 decades means 1 decade means 10 years. Over a period of 30 years, the louse and the ancestral house, they all were living together, happily in the kingdom of the king's name. It is not mentioned, It means simply you have to understand, in king's palace, under his bed, they all were living happily. Clear? For 3 decades. It means over a period of 30 years, and each night what they were doing, she and her enormous brood, the big team. Enormous means big. Brood means the entire team, The louse, she is the mastermind, and the all members, including the old ladies, you can say also, okay, in her house. 3-4 generations, they have been staying, there. And every night, the whole team, they used to drink the king's blood, as their food, because they mainly solely depend on the king's blood, And you see, once the signal came from the crib that the king was fast asleep, quietly, discreetly, they nipped and sipped and drank away. What they were doing actually, as soon as the king support, because the king is a busy person, Did you understand? The king is a busy person throughout day and night. He is very hard working. So as soon as he used to come, and when the crib, the louse and the team, they know that, the king has gone, asleep, deeply, then that time they will attack. And they will slowly, very quietly, very intelligently, tactfully, they will go to the king's bed, because they were just under the bed, they were staying, Okay, they had already made their house. So they will just come out and they will start, sucking the blood of the king, They were nipping and sipping. They were biting and sucking the blood of the king. And they will again go back to their own place. So it was their daily routine. The whole team, the louse and the whole team, they used to perform their task in this way. And it was their daily routine, and over a period of 30 years they had been performing this. Over a period of 30 years they had been continuing this, And the king, it was not noticeable to the king. The way they are so brilliant in biting, just you will be very much surprised that the louse and the team members, they are so brilliant. They are so careful also, and they are so master, I can say. They have achieved mastery in sucking the blood of the king. The way they used to bite, the king won't be able to understand anything. Because when the king was in a position of fast asleep, that time they were attacking. During short nap, they were not going. During afternoon, suppose for an hour, if the king is resting, that time they will never do that. Because they know that, the king might awake and our position will be at stake. So very tactfully they used to perform that task. So it was going on very well. Their routine life, you see this very systematic plan they had actually. Who were the dependent, you see, sons, grandsons, sister, brother, great granddaughters, great grandmothers, second cousin, their wives, thus pursued their gentle lives, lives of undisturbed delight, The amount of happiness they used to get, over a period of 30 years, never ever they have found in anywhere. That they have got it in the king's palace. And you see, imagine that, the king's blood, how much tasty it is. King's blood will be something different from your blood or mine blood. It will be something different from you and mine, Because the king used to eat every day some delicious, food items, which can be containing, some vitamins like milk, fruits, almond, okay. So many all precious and very tasty food items the king used to have, every day, in breakfast also, lunch also, dinner. And you see the blood it makes, all these food items, and the blood is so tasty for them that they are really living a very undisturbed live, very gentle live, live upon disturbed delight, growing plump and smooth and white. And by sucking the blood, you see, if you just see each and everyone's figure, they are so plump, so stout, healthy. There is a different sort of glow which can come on their face because they are sucking the king's blood. Such a life they have never ever led, But you see what will happen right now. All have become very smooth, very stout, Their faces have become, very white also by sucking the blood of the king. One day, a mosquito, flew through the window as it drew closer to the velvet bed, canopied with gold. And you see, imagine the king's bed, the king's bedroom, you imagine. The bed sheet, it is full of gold, And king is not an ordinary person, full of velvet. So smooth, so silky, gorgeous, And there they have made their house. One day mosquito flew through the window, somewhere else it came, a mosquito you see, and as it drew closer to the velvet bed canopied with gold, he said, lovely, just the place for me, what a beautiful heaven for me, what a beautiful place for me. Oh my God, I have never ever seen such a beautiful place in my life. Who said? Mosquito. Lovely, just the place for me. Oh, what a perfume, see, let me see, rose, no, jasmine. She is getting, the mosquito actually is getting very much confused, because different sort of flavors, fragrance coming to him. King's bedroom, you just imagine, king's bedroom, it is fully neat and clean. And the bed sheet, it is laying over there. Then you imagine, it is full of gold, golden color. Might be made up of gold also. So such a beautiful place, just like a heaven for the mosquito. Smooth as banks of Ganga's silt, like the holy river, you see. If you visit the bank of Ganga, Ganga silt, then really it is very smooth, very silky. So let me test the bed springs now, So he jumped up and somehow in a parabolic leap landed not too far from the creek. With a very leap and bound, he just came closer to the louse, and said, Sir mosquito, flap your wings, leap at once the beds. The kings, who may you be, Lady Louse? He is asking the Lady Louse, who are you? Then the Lady Louse said, I am the guardian of this house. House, this quilt, it's mine, said Creve. There is no place for you, sir, live. When the mosquito said, who are you? Because the mosquito never thought that, somebody is here, already. So who are you? The mosquito is trying to show off his own right as if he is the owner of that house. But the Lady Love said, I am the guardian of this house, but you, for your kind information, from where you came. And by the way, who are you? Then Lady Love said, my dear mosquito, I am very sorry, there is no place for you, sir. Please you go from here. The way you came, the way you go back. Then the mosquito said, let me sleep here for one night. Oh my dear Lady House, sorry, actually I am really sorry, I forgot that you are the guardian of this house, So just for one night, just for a night, you will let me take shelter, Let me sleep here for one night and I will catch the morning flight. Morning flight means like the flight it comes, the flight, it goes high up. Similarly, the mosquito also came like a flight, through the window. So he said that, let me sleep here just for one night and tomorrow morning I will take my departure. I will go from here just for one night. Thus the sad, mosquito pleaded, requested very helplessly before the louse. Okay. Before the house, the mosquito pleaded like a helpless beggar, requested her, "Oh, my dear lady loves, you just allow me to stay here for one night, and you see what a miracle I can create for you." And you see the miracle what he did actually. And at last his prayers were heeded. Heeded means it was listened. He made a prayer, "Oh my God, lest the lady loves, should allow me, because she is the guardian of this house." And the lady's loves also could not bear the way the mosquito projected before the lady loves. It was so emotional blackmailing, I can say. And the lady loves agreed. Okay. Don't become so much sentimental, emotional, Okay, I'll allow you to stay here for a night. But you promise me that morning you must take your flight. Then the mosquito became so happy. Okay. I am ready to depart you. At last his prayers were heeded, for the tender-hearted creep, could not bear to watch him weep. The mosquito was crying actually, begging, crying, like anything, like a helpless beggar, like a defeated soldier. And the lady loves listened to her problem, understood it, and allowed him to stay there for a night. Then you see the consequence what will happen. "Well, come in," she said at last, "but tonight you will have to fast. For on no account may you bite him, as we are trained to do. We can drink and cause no pain, loss of royal sleep or stain. And you, I fear, would cause all three. I cannot risk my family." But the lady love said, "My dear mosquito, okay, I allow you to stay here, because you are getting so much emotional that I understand your problem, feelings, But you can stay here, but there is one condition. But you have to remain fasting. You are not going to eat anything. But tonight you will have to fast, for on no account may you bite him." Because we people are very much trained, we are qualified in sucking the blood of the king. But you are the fresher. If you do anything, because you are not trained, because you can do the things in a hurry, So something wrong might happen here. So for on no account may you bite him, as we are trained to do. We can drink and cause no pain, because whenever we are drinking, whenever we are sucking the blood of the king, we give him no pain at all. It doesn't cause any pain, and it doesn't also have any loss of royal sleep. The sleep is not disturbed, because the way we are very expert in sucking the blood, or stain. And you, I fear, would cause all three. I cannot risk my family. But if you do so, then I am very much fearful, because something might bad happen here also. So my dear mosquito, this is my advice, that you please take fasting today. You can stay here, take rest, but don't try to eat anything. Then you say, but the clean mosquito, very poor, that mosquito, very clever, also cunning, cried, "And now you have let me come inside, lady loves. How can you be cold in hospitality? Hospitality, How can you be so cold in hospitality?" Then you see another blackmailing. The mosquito is again preparing or going in favor of, you see, what kind of blackmailing? He is asking the lady loves that, "My dear lady loves, how can you be so cool in hospitality? Whenever any guest comes, do you ask them to have fasting? How can it be possible? Just one bite. I ask no more, for I have learned from learned lore that the royal blood, it contains remedies for all aches and pain. all sorts of different problem whatever you have in your body, all will remove once you suck the blood. Because the whale's blood, it contains remedies. Like, because it is mixed up with, ginger. What the mosquito is saying, see the blood, it can contain ginger, honey, sugar. The blood is made up of ginger, honey, sugar, spice, cardamom, and all things very nicely. The blood is prepared very nicely by mixing all these ingredients, So I am getting so much impatient, Same me, I am in broken health. You see my condition, you see my health, you are very stout, young, energetic, You see all of your children also are here, They have a different sort of glaze on their face. But you see my condition. Who said mosquito? I am broken health. You see my poor health. Don't you have any sympathy on this poor health? Same me, I am in broken health. Let me bite him once by stealth, And he won't even shift or sigh across my heart and hope to die. And I promise you, I guarantee you that the king will never awake from bed. Very tactfully also, I am also very expert in sucking the blood. So tactfully I will suck the blood. And it will cause really no pain to the king. That guarantee I can give you. And his heart, is really pulsating, and he is hoping to die actually, to suck blood. Finally, the louse agreed, right? Okay, she said, but pay close heed. Wait till wine, fatigue, or deep dream enriched, unbroken sleep, and has enveloped him. Then go lightly nip, his little toe. Then the lady louse advised the mosquito, okay, my dear mosquito, you can bite, but wait. But pay my attention, pay close heed, pay close attention, whatever I am saying. Wait till wine, fatigue or deep, The king, every day takes wine also, and he goes fast asleep, at night. After the day is over, the king will come to the bed, and will take rest, So whenever the king is taking a sound sleep, that time you have to simply go and nip his little toe. Don't be in a hurry. When deep dream, enriched the king, that time you go. When the king is snoring, when the king is in deep sleep, is taking sound sleep, that time you proceed, and lightly, not seriously and hardly also, very lightly you nip his little toe. This is the advice given by the lady louse to the mosquito. Clear? Yes, that's all old hat. Said Sir Lim, I know all that. Keep your stale advice. He smiled seriously, I am not his child. Oh my dear lady louse, I am not a child, I understand. Don't be so over smart, I know also how to suck blood. I am also quite expert. I have gained expertise in this field. I have achieved master degree in this field, So don't give me silly advice. I know what to do and what not to do. I am not a child. Who said mosquito to lady louse? Then you see the last one we can see here. It was only afternoon, fairly early, fairly soon, when the king came for his snooze, ducked his crown, and shirt and so, lay down on the bed and sighed. The mosquito almost died from excitement, shock, and sweat. No, the lady louse said, the king actually is not sleeping, deeply here. We are talking about the sleep, which is just, short sleep, we can say also. This is just like, snooze means nap, like, or short sleep, So that time, the king removed his clothes, and just lied on bed, just for a while, So that time, the mosquito wanted to attack. The lady louse denied him to do so. Wait, mosquito. Then the mosquito almost died, from excitement and shock and sweat, No, the lady louse said, no, don't do. Then the mosquito said, it is getting late, the cell wilt mumbler, Oh, it's only, he would have been, humbler rushing to the rash attack leapt upon the royal back, and with fierce and very sting deeply drinked dirt and dozing king, But the mosquito could not help the louse, He didn't listen to the louse, and he was dying of excitement, just to drink the blood, And he did sting so fast and so hard on the back of the king. Then the king shouted, help, a scorpion or a snake. Because it did bite in such a way, the mosquito, to the king. The king, finally woke up from bed, and appealed, for a scorpion or snake. Screamed the king at once, awake, I have been bitten. Search the bed. Find and strike the creature dead, When they made a close inspection, the mosquito felt detection, hidden in the canopy. But the louse clan could not flee. The louse group, they cannot fly. As soon as the canopy was removed, the bed was discovered, Under the bed you will find the louse and the whole team member, they were living together since over a period of so many years. They all were detected. They were hidden in the canopy. But the louse could not flee, and all were killed without thinking for a while. Meanwhile, the mosquito flew also, looking out for further prey, humming mildly on his way. And you see the mosquito very carefully went out, from the door. It flew away, But the louse and the clan, they cannot flee. So they had to stay there. They had to crawl. So when the bed was searched, the canopy was removed, the louse and the whole clan, they were found. They are, living over a period of so many years. And the king ordered the messengers, just to clean or to kill them. Then you see, nothing happened to the mosquito. So it gives you a moral that, anyone also, whosoever comes in your life also, if you do not know the whereabouts of that person, then don't easily trust him or her. This is my advice, Because many of us, we just easily believe other people, and other people are also there, who can make you believe. Okay, so it can happen in your life. So until and unless you know a person, perfectly, then don't allow him to enter your life. Otherwise your life will spoil, like the lady louse. You see, the lady louse and the clan, they were having a very undisturbed life, in the king's palace. But what happened when mosquito entered into their life? Then everything was spoiled. Otherwise, see, more 30 years they could have spent also their beautiful life in the king's palace. But something bad happened, see. So strangers should not be given preferences, or strangers should not be allowed. This is the message. If you see a needy person and you are ready to help, or the person ask you to help, then you can help, but don't until allow him to enter your life. This is my advice. Otherwise, the story like you see that the louse and the mosquito, like mosquito, many people are roaming around you who are ready to spoil your life. So you need to be very much careful, who are the mosquito like in the story, and who are your real friends, who can be your real friends and who can become like the mosquito. So especially to strangers, don't believe. When you are going outside also, that time easily you don't make friendship with other people. First you know them, their background then you extend your hand to help them or to be friend with them. Clear? So this is all about. So I hope that this is a very simple story, so you might have understood it. So any stranger which is given in examination, you will be able to write it. I think. So thank you very much, dear students. And tomorrow again a new story that I am going to teach you from supplementary reader also. Then after one story again we'll give a short break to literature. Then we'll start some grammar portion. So okay. So another examination is supposed to come in the month of January. So you get ready for that, and before 15th of January your result will get published also. So thank you very much for attending live class, and those who are not attending, of course they will get very less mark. This is very natural, Okay. So thank you very much.